Welcome back to the news at 4. Time for the weekly Reel Report, our fishing segment with our friend of the show, Jordan Rodriguez with Tight Lines 208. Today, we're going to talk about catching brown trout in our area. Jordan, welcome to the program. For starters, okay, a brown trout. I mean, what's the difference between a brown trout and a rainbow trout? Is it just, I guess, cosmetic?
Different species, yes. Different coloration. So as the name would suggest, they are a lot of brown on them, but they're also a really good looking fish. They have a lot of yellow on the belly and the fins. And this time of year, they go into their spawning behavior. Those colors become even more enhanced. So they have a lot of yellows. They also have black spots and a lot of red spots as well. So they are a beautiful, good looking fish. So just a different species. They look different, and the behavior is a little different as well, which is important when it comes to approaching how do I catch one.
And so where do you usually catch a brown trout? As we showed in the pictures, those are big size fish.
Big fish. So, and some of those very biggest ones I've caught right here on the Boise River.
Oh, wow.
Like in town. So just, you know, almost footsteps from where we're sitting right now, which is crazy to think about. People don't realize that fish of that size, that magnitude are just right here in our urban fishery. One of the things that makes the Boise River so cool.
What kind of bait would you recommend for those brown trout?
Yeah, so this is kind of where the rubber meets the road, is like if you're going to target these, because a lot of people fish the Boise River and they're like, well, all I ever catch is rainbows, or I catch a brown, you know, one brown for like every 50 rainbows that I catch. So what's the deal? Well, the answer to that is the area where they inhabit is a little bit different. They like a little bit slower, a little bit deeper water than the rainbows. Not that you can't find them intermixed, because you do. But then also the food, which goes to your question, is what are we going to use for bait? So it's mostly going to be things that mimic a small fish and or a crayfish. There's a lot of crayfish in the Boise River, and those big trout will definitely eat the crayfish. But the browns in particular, once they achieve like a decent size, they're not so much looking for bugs and small meals and that type of thing. It's going to be smaller fish, it's going to be crayfish, it's going to be those bigger meals. So something like a crankbait, and we've had on the show the Rapala crankbaits, either in a fish pattern or in a crayfish pattern. If you're a fly fisherman, it would be more of a streamer game. So like something kind of big and chunky that looks like a fish, looks like a big prey item. That is going to be more likely to be eaten by the brown trout, and will kind of up your chances of catching one of those. Okay, very good. Well, you can also read all about it in this week's article, Tight Lines 208. We have that link to ktvb.com. Jordan, thank you so much for your time as always. We'll send it over to Rachel for some weather.